Hey folks, Evil DM here, Vince the Evil DM, another episode of Railguns and Dragons. We're back with Heroes Unlimited. Today we're going to switch to page 27 and talk about education and skills, or skill programs and education, and picking your secondary skills. Now, I've noticed that this can cause a little bit of confusion among people, and some people aren't grasping it sometimes when they're going through this for the first time, and it's understandable to not understand this right away. But it's relatively simple once you get into the knack of making up characters, and once you get through it the first time, you'll understand it going forward, because it has its own method how to do things here. Now, after you determine your class, or your OCC, I should say, which you could determine your superpowers by going back to page, well, right over here to this page, to determine your super abilities. Now, you're going to want to roll here or pick here, obviously, to see which power category you fall under, and then look under there and see what it says about education. Chances are it'll probably say follow standard, or it'll give you what you need to do. Now, let's just say it says follow standard, which is just basically going here to this page 27. This is the point where you want to kind of decide, based on what you're going to be, where you want to start arranging your attributes. Reason why I'm saying is you want to decide kind of here is that some of the skills that you pick in this area will affect some of those attributes. And it generally won't affect things like intelligence. So you may want to get that bonus on IQ. So you may thinking maybe your character might go more of a, an intelligent type character as opposed to a physical, or maybe you want a little bit of both. But the higher your IQ, the more bonus you're going to get to all of your skills. So if you have a extraordinary number of, like, say 23 or whatever, and it gives you a bonus, and you look on that chart in the earlier pages over at 8 and 9, you're going to see you're going to get a bonus to all your skills. Now, you have to consider that. Do I want to put it there and get a bonus to all my skills, or do I want to go the whole total physical route and put it there? It's really up to you how you want to play that. My advice is, if you want a little bit boost in your skills, put a high number. If you have multiple exceptional abilities, put it into that IQ. You don't have to. Again, it's your character, however you want to. But let's just say you have no bonuses and you're going forward with just a standard character and you want to go see what your education is. So first thing you do is you roll percentile, looking at this chart and seeing what you get, because a lot of these things will give you bonuses to your skills as it is. Let's, for example, say we roll, and I have some dice here in front of me just for, a randomness, and we get 72. So we're a military specialist. If we look on the chart here, we get a bonus of 20% to all our skills. We get to select 6 skills from the espionage skill program, 4 from the weapon proficiency program, plus 1 other skill program, which can include 6 more choices from espionage. Now, that's a little bit complex for a new player right off the bat, so let's go for something a little bit more simple to explain how this works. Let's say you got 2 years of college. Okay, that sounds simple enough. 2 years of college, associate's type degree. You get a bonus of 15% to all of your skill programs, not secondary skills, which we'll go over in a moment. But secondary skills, think of them as hobby skills, or something that you pick up on the side, or I like playing role-playing games. That's a hobby. I'm not a professional game player, though I'd love to be. Or I like working on computers. That's a hobby, even though I get paid for that. But I first learned how to build computers in my basement as a kid. I learned how to pull them apart, put them together, rip them apart, add parts to it. And then I learned how to program software. All these things I did without proper schooling when I was in, middle school and high school. That's hobbies. That's what secondary skills are. Now, skill programs are the things that you pick up with formal education. Back to the example of 2 years of college, you get a 15% bonus, and you get to select 2 skill programs and 8 secondary skills. For skill programs, you come over here to the right, starting on page 27. And you can look, and these are all skill programs: communications program, computer program, electrical program, espionage program. Has an asterisk next to it. If you read that, it tells you you can't pick from those unless you get a military specialist. All right, no problem. Let's just say we want to pick our 2 skill programs. We want to be a computer person. So we pick computer operation, and you get all the skills listed under the program automatically. So I pick computer program. That means I get these 2 skills here. And for my second one, I'm going to pick, I'm going to look around here, and I'm going to probably pick a technical program, which says select 3, excluding language. So, what does that mean? Okay, that means we come and look over here on page 29, which lists all the skills by category. I'm not quite sure why they did it this way and why Palladium decided to list them this way as opposed to just listing them under the program itself. I guess they wanted to do it so you can pick, but, I mean, selects 3, including language. The technical program only has 4 if you minus the language. That's 3. So essentially, you really are getting those 3. But though you can make it like art dash, I don't know, painting, art dash drawing, photography, photo exposure, things like that, and narrow it down a little bit more to get multiples out of that. Really up to you and your GM how you want to do that. But once you get those 2 skill programs, you need to look up those skills individually. See how it says skill description? And for example, let's just say under our computer operation, it gives you a general description of it and then your base skill. This is what you start out writing on your character sheet when you see the Palladium character sheets. The percentage is the number that you're going to start at, and you have to roll under that number because it increases as you go up in level. Now, we have a 60% listed there. Plus, we got a 15% bonus, which gives us 75% to start right off the bat when it comes to computer operation, being able to operate a computer, keyboards, and maybe trying to break into things. Who knows how the GM wants to use that. Now, with that said, while you have a high 75% chance of doing that skill, there's always other factors added into there. The GM can minus or add things to the roll without you knowing. So just because you have a 75% chance doesn't mean you're always going to hit it. You still may miss it because tasks can be changed due to the situation by the GM, depending on how hard or how easy. Because at one point in the game, you're going to get certain skills that with bonuses, they're going to be 98%, which is the highest you can go here in Revised. And you're going to be like, well, boom, passed, boom, passed, and everything's going to be simple. It doesn't work like that, unfortunately. Now, after we're done picking our skill programs and writing down our skills, adding whatever bonuses we got from the education and from if we got an IQ bonus, we can look into the secondary skill list. Now, if I remember correctly, it said we had select 8. Yes, 8 secondary skills. Now, that 15% bonus does not apply to the secondary skills. Like I said, these are hobbies. These are things you picked up on your own by reading a book, watching a YouTube video. Maybe your buddy showed you how to do it sometime. But these are a little bit different and a little bit smaller of a list that you have to pick from. And when it comes to these skills, you need to be wary of the fact that you may not qualify for some of them. Some of these skills listed here may say prerequisite needed something else. So you have to make sure that you pick whatever you pick, you qualify for and have the prerequisite for it before you can even get that. Now you're thinking it's a hobby, so there can be some leeway with how it works and what a GM really wants to do as far as how this program works. But secondary skills is also a good point to pick up physical things or weapon proficiencies, especially if you have a bonus. See, now we have, remember how I said there's skill programs and there's also a physical program. If you look over in the physical program right here, it has all hands-to-hand, acrobatics, archery. If you did not get a bonus, or a worthwhile bonus that boosted you. Like some of these you can get up to 35% if you get a doctorate or a PhD. And this is the point where you really don't want to, I would say, unless you really want to, don't want to blow a skill program on anything physical. You want to take advantage of that percentage that you're getting for the bonus when you pick your skills. Again, it's your character. You can play how you want, but it's generally advised that when you do your secondary skills, you have a pretty decent list here to pick from. It's missing a couple things from here that you can't have, but the same thing. So physical, hand-to-hand, basic, and martial arts will give you additional attacks and bonuses when attacking. Athletics will give you bonuses to your physical stats along with bodybuilding. Running will do it, and swimming will do it. Prowling will help you just move quietly to avoid situations. But this is where you want to use some of your secondary skills to pick up physical attributes, because you don't get bonuses to secondary skills unless it's an IQ bonus. Then you get whatever percentage is listed on that chart, because it applies to all your skills because you're exceptionally intelligent and you get a bonus to everything because you're just amazing genius type guy. But yeah, so you want to pick things here that wouldn't normally give you the bonuses for over here. So this is where you probably want to pick up, maybe you were a knife guy, you like knife, or maybe you picked up handgun shooting on the side, automatic pistols, you like Glocks, in your spare time you went to the range. Maybe you went to the range and worked on your blunt proficiency. I don't know. You went to like martial art training or something and pick locks. Maybe you were a locksmith hobbyist or that watched YouTube videos, learn how to pick locks. Lots of people do those things. This is how secondaries work. Again, when you go to your secondary skills, look for the skill where it's listed under and figure out what might be needed. And some of them even give you a special bonus as well, like locksmith right here has requirements, but it also has a base skill, and it gives you a special bonus. You had a one-time bonus of 5% if the electronic skills is also taken. That's cool. So you have to read these and really decide what you want to do. Again, picking physical things will increase your actual physical stats. If we flip over to physical here, hand-to-hand combat, acrobatics adds 2 to your punch with roll with fall, 1 to your physical strength, 1d4 to your prowess, 1 plus 1 to PE, and 1d6 to your SDC. So you have to. This is when at this point you're going to want to assign your stats. You're going to want to consider where you want to put things. So it's always. That's why in the beginning I recommended that you write them on the scratch pool, on the scratch paper on the side as a pool, so you can distribute them later on. Sure, you can distribute them right up front if you really want to, when you're absolutely certain you know what you're going to be or want to be and projecting yourself to be. So that's how skill programs work. And a lot of people get confused when it comes to skill programs versus secondary skills versus how they work. And hopefully this video has helped you out a little bit and given you an idea how, if you're new to the game, or maybe if you're an old timer to the game coming back to it, how the skill programs work. Because it's always confusing for us coming back into this game, how these things work and how they plan out. So we'll be back with another video. Don't forget to like the video, share the video, comment below, subscribe if you haven't, and keep it original, keep it old school. Good night, everybody.